Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. In this episode, we'll be speaking with the team from Wizards Arena. This conversation was recorded on July 19th, 2023, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of Kadena Ecosystem directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy! Welcome everybody to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. Today we have back with us the great team from Wizards Arena. They've been obviously one of the big players in the space, developing some really cool stuff and just making one of the best games on the Kadena blockchain right now. So welcome back, Ron. Good to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris. And, it's always a good time whenever we get to sit down and chat. So, I'm excited to catch up and discuss what we got going on.
Awesome. So why don't we just start with, just in case, as I always say, there's always people coming into the ecosystem who may not have the history and know everything about the blockchain and about the different projects building on it. Maybe just a quick recap of what Wizards Arena is all about.
Yeah, for sure. And that'll be useful in case anybody comes back and listens and whatnot too. But just for starters, I'm Ron. I'm the community manager, social media manager, and a host of other things for Wizards Arena. We are a play-to-earn NFT game on the Kadena blockchain. We have a collection of about 3,000 wizards, clerics, and druids who all battle each other in the arena for Kadena and rewards in our native token, Wizza. And I would say that through the about 9 or 10 months that we have been live since October of 2022, we've done a tremendous amount of developing and growing our own little ecosystem inside of Kadena around the Wizard token, and just trying to benefit our holders and provide a fun but also profitable way for people to enjoy Kadena.
Yeah, you guys have done an amazing job building out your platform. Wizards is definitely one of the top projects in the Kadena ecosystem, and a lot of that is usually due to your amazing dev, Ilario. He has done some amazing work and created some really cool features for Wizards. Why don't we just kind of quickly go over all the different things that once people mint themselves or buy themselves a wizard, because you can't really mint them anymore. If people buy themselves a wizard, what all can they do with those awesome wizard NFTs?
Yeah, so I actually want to make a really cool video of going through this whole onboarding process, but this is a good question. I'm glad you asked it. So if you visit our website, wizardsarena.net, our homepage shows our own marketplace where every single listed wizard you'll see. If you already have one, connect your wallet. You'll see that we have a marketplace tab, a profile tab, a magic shop tab, and a play tab. So if you go to the play tab, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different game modes that we have made so far. Our newest one being player versus environment, PvE. It's a free beta right now, so it's completely free. If you have a wizard, all you do is go there. You pick a type of monster. We have 3. Those are the Berserker. So this is one that's going to do a lot of attack and damage. We have a defensive monster who is going to make it hard for you to land. And we have an average monster who's kind of a mix of both. And so that monster will be similar to your level. And it is a free beta right now. It's almost like an alpha. It's very early, but this is I would say kind of our new big thing that we really want to push and think of some really creative ways to incorporate it. I think that up to this point, we have mainly been focused around player versus player. And so that's what I'll go back to. So that's pretty much what you're going to be doing once you have a wizard. You're going to, after you buy it, you're going to go to your profile tab on our website. You're going to stake it. You're going to start earning the wizard token. And then with your wizard token, you can go into the magic shop tab, select your wizard, do some upgrades, make it more powerful. We actually have a 4th collection, which is equipment. It consists of what was 4,000 rings, but these have been forged down by the blacksmiths and Wizards Arena. And so there are less than 2,200 rings existing now after all of them have been forged down. And so what these do will provide stats to your wizards, and you can buy those with the wizard token as well. So as you'll see around our website, we have a whole host of things and use cases for the wizard token. And we try to make it a nice cycle where you have the wizard, it earns you the token, and then you use the token in the Wizards economy, and hopefully as a result of that, you'll earn some rewards and prizes from tournaments.
That's awesome. There's so many cool things that you guys can do on your website, right from, like you said, the very new mode, which is player versus environment, which is kind of like, I guess that's kind of more of just like player PVC, kind of player versus computer kind of sense. Would it not be kind of more of that kind of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. But we would like to make it more gamified. And so, but yeah, essentially that's what it is right now. I mean, you literally just see some monster art on a blank background, but we are thinking about lots of different ways that we can go with this, because there's a lot of routes that we can take, and I'm sure that many of you can imagine that, you know, there's not one golden way to go about it. We could build it almost like PvP, where you subscribe every week. I more personally want it to be more like a game where you would maybe do quests, and actually have a little bit more graphics, where maybe you're like actually in the Wizards world and get to see some of these spells and stuff happening. And that's definitely what's in our plans, is try to make the game a little bit less of just a simple website blockchain game, and really try to scale it up into what more people think of as a game.
Now, some of the other awesome game things you guys do are your tournaments, which are kind of the big draw, I feel, for the people in the Wizards arena community. And one of the things, like you said, if anyone here isn't in the Wizards arena Discord, make sure right now that you click on their profile and go to their Discord and join it, because it is one of the most vibrant and active communities like I am in pretty much all of the different projects Discords, and the notification tabs for Wizards is always got the highest count out of all of them by far. So they're a very active Discord. The people in there are always chatting. The team's always in there talking with you. Ron is super prevalent in there. You'll see him on the daily in there chatting it up with everyone. And their team is very on point, and they've been building these weekly tournaments, which have been very awesome, and they've brought a lot of action and activity to the game and the ecosystem. Now, I know right now one of the active tournaments is actually based on you, and you created it, Ron. You maybe want to go a little bit into that?
Yeah, so this is pretty much the first week ever since we've launched that there is no main Wednesday tournament. So it's been about over 40 tournaments, and the reason because of that is, you know, our dev is on vacation. He's an absolute rock star, absolute wizard. Guy deserves a break. I hope that the vacation treats him well. He comes back with a fresh mind. And I was telling my friends, hopefully that he's in Greece, by the way. I said, hopefully the Greek god of sun comes and gives him visions of how to make Wizards Arena the best. So, but I'm hoping that he's enjoying that. But in the meantime, I've, as the community manager, kind of thought about ways to feed the holders their addiction, because they're used to having tournaments every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this point. It used to be only Wednesdays. Now we do it 3 times a week. So, you know, you imagine doing something and having fun 3 times a week, and then one week comes and there's nothing. You know, it's almost like you have a little bit of withdrawal. And we always joke about this. I think there's actually some of those memes that people put down in the replies to this tweet. But so that's pretty much what I've been trying to do, is cater to our holders and give them something to do while Lario is gone, and make it not feel so empty. So what I've done, with my lack of technological know-how and anything regarding that, I have pretty much set up my own system where people DM me what wizards they want to use in a tournament, and then I literally went online and used like a online bracket generator for free. And so we're pretty much running like a March Madness, like college basketball type tournament right now. And we have a really cool tool to foster this. It was a game mode we launched a couple of months ago. Is challenges. Is, you know, Chris, if you have a wizard and I have a wizard, you know, we don't have to just maybe have the coincidence that we meet up in a tournament to battle each other. I can specifically go to Chris's wizard and say, hey, let's fight, and let's throw some Kadena or some wizard token down on it. Winner gets double. And that's how we're doing this. So I set up this bracket, and then now everybody in the Discord sees the bracket that I made, and they are setting up all of these battles in between each other. And then tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll go live. I'll share my screen. We'll watch all of these fights together. And then, just like any other single elimination tournament, it's survive and advance, baby. They just have to win, and then we'll do the next round, and then eventually we'll have a champ. And then whenever Ilario gets back, maybe he'll want to reward the winners with something more than I can provide right now. But we are thinking of a couple of ways that the winners can be rewarded. But as of now, it's not like it's very impromptu and really not like any of our like official tournaments that we do.
It's great to hear that you've stepped up, and yes, definitely Ilario deserves to take a little break with all the amazing work that he's done putting into Wizards and all the things that he works on. So definitely well-deserved break. But it's good to see that the project's in good hands even while he's away, and that you can continue bringing that fun to the community and even come up with your own little takes and your own little twists on things. So that's really cool to see. Now, one of the other really cool features I've noticed that you guys have put out is your statistics website, which I think is really cool for people to be able to go and see all the different stats, because when it comes to games like this, there's always different stats that come along with the Wizards themselves, the tournaments, the challenges, all that kind of stuff. And it's really cool to see that you've made this really cool dashboard. Can you maybe speak a little bit into its creation and what kind of things people can see and use it for?
Yes. So are you referring to the KadeX website?
Yeah, the one that reports. Yeah,
gotcha.
Reports one.
Yes. So a holder just voluntarily made that for us. And this is another thing that I love about Wizards Arena is that people just decide to step up and do things for the game. And so this is a complete community initiative. And we didn't have anything to do with this. We did not foster its like creation or development, anything like that. A holder just made it for us, and it's awesome. It was actually offline recently for a little bit because the person who made it was a little bit inactive. And I reached out to one of my buddies and said, hey, do you know how we can recreate this? And we just could not figure out for the life of us how we can query Chainweb, how to like incorporate that into a dashboard, all of this stuff. We spent like about a week, like freaking, struggling, just trying to figure it out, asking Amir, asking all of these awesome developers who are always open to our questions and stuff. And we couldn't figure it out, but they brought it back online, and it's very useful, especially for a guy like me. I'm personally in a master's degree for economics, and so I do a lot of like data science, and to have the data availability to Wizards Arena like this is really cool, because then I can go in and look for trends and look for like correlations and whatnot. So it's really cool for my personal standpoint for that reason.
Yeah, that's great to hear, though, that that is one good thing about the Kadena community and everything, is that people are willing to step up and help out the communities that they like and support, right down to developing cool little tools and cool little things like that make everything better and make the whole community stronger for it. So that's really cool to hear that someone has stepped up and created this for you. And like you said, it provides invaluable data that not only people can just go and look at for fun, but like the team can use for developing for future ideas and seeing what works, what doesn't, which tournament styles get the most action, which ones you might need to tweak some things. So there's really no real downside to having these kind of informational statistic sites. And if anything, it's just going to provide invaluable data for everyone. So that's very, very cool to see. You mentioned earlier too about equipment, and that you're going to be having another mint on for equipment. I believe we may have touched a little bit on this last time we spoke about upcoming mints and upcoming features. Do you maybe want to go into a little bit more detail in what may be in the pipeline for the next coming things, so that people can get their Kadena ready and get their Wizard ready and be ready to snag their hands? Because I know when you guys open up the mints for anything that you guys do, they sell out super fast. So maybe we can give people a little bit of a heads up so they can be prepared.
So we were supposed to have an expansion of equipment, not necessarily an expansion, because that would kind of mean furthering the supply of rings. It's a different kind of equipment that does a different thing. We don't want to inflate the supply of rings or anything like that wouldn't be fair to people who originally minted. So we are going to be having what's called pendants, which is our new kind of equipment. And so those won't have anything to do with your stat numbers, like your damage and HP and attack, how our rings do. Those will actually affect spells. And so you'll have, they'll affect spells and the amount of damage you take from a certain element. And so we were supposed to have this mint about a month ago, but we have postponed it until further notice. I mean, I'll just keep it completely straight and honest. The market's down, and we're thinking of using mint funds, just like any other project, on things that, services that won't accept Kadena. We have to sell it, and the market's really not in a great place for that right now. And I know personally, I've always been one that doesn't like saying, oh, well, we're not building because we're in a bear market and whatnot. But that's just what it comes down to, is that we don't want to charge our holders more Kadena for a mint, because that's, we love our community and we always want to pay back to them. So just because the market's down, we don't want to charge more Kadena just to be able to pay for services and make the game better. So we're postponed a little bit right now, just letting the market decide for itself. Of course, Alario's on vacation too. We are in what we would call the off season right now, because we have no formal league or season going on. And for anybody who doesn't know, that's our 12 league. It's pretty much just multiple weeks, about 12 weeks it was this past time, of just tournaments. And then you have cumulative results of all of these tournaments, just like any league or season. And then there's further rewards for that. But so we're kind of in this off season right now, and we're just pretty much waiting for Ilario to get back and see what the big whiz wants to do. Feel the market out a little bit, perhaps even listen to our holders, see what they want to do. But, we are planning very big things that we don't really want to drop as alpha yet, but we have, I would say, just about as big of plans or bigger than we ever have right now. It's just not quite to the point where we want to share anything yet.
Well, that's totally understandable. Like you said, not everyone is willing to accept Kadena as a payment for a service. So, in those situations, you got to do what you have to do. And it would be taking probably a significant loss selling at this kind of price. And hopefully we'll see a rebound very soon so that you guys can kick things back into gear. And I'm sure whatever you have planned and the things that you have set up for the timeline are going to just blow everyone away, because everything you guys have done so far, right from the initial Wizards release up to, the different types of wizards and all those, the pendant, the rings and all the different add-ons and the improvements just to the website even itself. Everything has just been top notch so far. So I'm sure people are more than willing to, wait it out a little bit just to be able to get some more really cool things added to the ecosystem. One of the things that we talked about, well, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but they had the Kadena campfire today with Swarm's Finance, and you were very active as you always are in those campfire chats. So what, if you can say anything, because you just recently, just in that last little bit there, said about, getting the community's involvement. Is there going to be any kind of official Wizards Arena DAOs or things like that to help drive where the ship goes for Wizards?
Yeah, so we have talked to Swarms a few times, and I'm glad you brought this up, because I wanted to ask if you were in the campfire. That was a great campfire. I had a great time, a lot of fun, a lot of jokes. But it was also, aside from the jokes and the puns and whatnot, some really cool things and discussions happened in the chat, and it was just a really cool environment. But so we don't have any plans for a project-wide DAO, kind of like how the Skellies have just done. And I think that the direction that we're more likely to go in is to have sub-DAOs within Wizards Arena. So I don't know if you've seen the DGods or the DGods NFTs that have they have sub communities, they have a golf DAO and all these different things within their holders for people who own certain traits and whatnot. We're thinking about doing something similar to that with clans, but it wouldn't necessarily be official project DAOs. It would be up to each clan to do, because at the end of the day, each clan kind of has their own leader. Like I'm the leader of a clan, pretty much. McNevert, I see him listening here. He's the leader of the KMC clan, pretty much. So it really comes down to the clan deciding if they want to go in that direction. But it seems really cool, and I think that there's some definitely very interesting things we could do with it. So watch out for that. I know that I have already went through the Swarms website and looked through all of it and how to set up a DAO and all of that. I honestly just haven't planned out how exactly I would want the DAO to be structured yet, and I didn't want to go ahead and make it and make a mistake or something.
Now, I believe in the past we've talked about how you guys have kind of a council of the top people in the Wizards team. Maybe you could think about, putting a simple DAO together just for you guys to be able to throw ideas at, and just a simple way, it doesn't, it's probably kind of might be redundant because you guys have been doing this now for quite a while and kind of probably have your own procedures already set in place. But, just maybe something to think about, and just, because I just feel like more people that utilize these kind of platforms and show, the different use cases for it even is the better for not just Swarm, for the community as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. And, we're definitely keeping in mind all the different ways that we can utilize it. For sure, there is the council, and, we kind of always referred to it as like a round table type of thing. So, that kind of does seem fitting for a DAO to be used in that scenario. So, but that's definitely something we've looked into. And I know that even before Swarms has launched, we've had a couple of holders ask, should we make a DAO and whatnot. So there's definitely been talks about it. I don't know exactly where Ilario sits on it, but I do think that the whole clan-wide thing could be really, really cool. And I know Amir just messaged me as I said that, saying that he could make a special feature for that. And that guy's just an absolute rock star. It baffles me how great of a developer and person he is. But so, yeah, but I could see how we could use Swarms in multiple ways, rather it be for governance for the actual project or for, just clans and sub DAOs, as I mentioned before.
Yeah, really, the possibilities are really endless. It just kind of comes up to whatever you can imagine. I'm sure there's a way to put that on chain and make it just simplified and more open for everyone to be able to see and take part in. So that's really cool to hear that, that you guys are already thinking about utilizing all of these new tools as we come out and Kadena gets stronger. We're going to see even more of these tools built. And like you said, Amir's been an absolutely amazing dev and building a lot of these really cool tools that are going to be coming up. So, there's lots of really cool people in the ecosystem that are, working away behind the scenes in this deep bear market that we seem to be in, that are just going to make it so that when things pop off and we see a large, intake into the Kadena blockchain, that there's going to be this great tool set for people to be able to use, be it from DAOs to being able to generate their own collections, to be able to mint their own NFTs, all types of really cool tools that people are going to be able to utilize and, be able to then go and play their favorite games like Wizards Arena and take part in those kind of things, be it from even just wallet integrations and all types of different things. So, it's very cool to see where we are. We're slowly building up into a larger and larger ecosystem, which has taken a while. We've been doing Kadena Ecosystem now for just over a year and a couple of months. And, we've seen the amount of projects go up and back down. And now we've kind of leveled out into this nice field of solid community members and solid projects that have really blossomed, generated their own communities, generated their own platforms, and just really shown that, the things that you can do with the Kadena blockchain and as a community as a whole. So it's really cool to see, where things have gone from where they were not even too long ago. It hasn't really been that long since this ecosystem's been growing and building into what it is today. And it's kind of interesting to see where it's going to go from here. Maybe if you want to give your thoughts on where you see the Kadena ecosystem maybe a year from now, because you've been in the ecosystem for almost as long as I have and seen it grow as well. Where do you think things are going to be in just maybe a year from now?
I'm really glad you mentioned this, Chris. And it's actually like the third or fourth thing that I'm really glad you brought up. And, someone listening might have thought that me and you talked beforehand and I told you what to ask me. So yeah, as a Kadena holder, I'm extremely happy right now, especially with the ecosystem. Today was a great day. Like I said, I had a great time in that showroom space. CAD cars had a lot of hype to launch, and they're really finally coming to fruition and making some really cool stuff. Those guys are absolute rock stars too. That team is insane. I don't know how they do it. They're also behind the Isoko marketplace. Those guys are insane, and I have a pretty good relationship with them too. They're good friends of mine. But I'm just really happy the place that we're at right now. I mean, like you said, I've only been here since October of 2022, like pretty much since Wizards started. And just in that time period, I've noticed a tremendous amount of growth. I mean, specifically, like, number one, we've grown tremendously. But I think the rest of the ecosystem, especially whenever you have guys like Amir and multiple others who are creating these tools that they just know are needed. And that's really where I have always had respect for Eucalyptus Labs is, these people who aren't here to make money and, mint out $3 million are building just tools to make the ecosystem better, whether it be a wallet or a DAO maker or a community marketplace like Amir's working on, or multiple other things. Like, it's just amazing. And I'm just like, I'm here for it, Chris. Like, I'm happy, like things are starting to happen. And like, as time goes on, I know that things are going to start blossoming more and getting better and better. And so like, and all of this, I've also been networking a lot more, as you can tell, like I've been talking to people like Amir, I've been talking to the CAD Cars team, and I've been trying to learn a little bit more programming and really trying to like really get in behind these projects. And I've really kind of started to be like a staple of the ecosystem a little bit. And now I'm in a lot of places talking to a lot of people now, and it's just really cool. And I just think that we're in a really good place to go really far.
I think one of the things I'm most excited for the near future is showing Kadena off to some of the other ecosystems out there and some of the other blockchain communities, because we're starting to see like the Kadena team itself is slowly working towards interoperability between other chains, specifically like EVM and chains like that. And all that's going to do is really open up more doors for people to get their eyes and get their hands on Kadena, get involved with the community, and see all of the awesome things that we've been working on over here for this past while, building these really cool tools. For example, like with us, Koala Wallet's going to be going multi-coin soon, adding both EVM and Bitcoin as the first two big ones that we branch into. And, people kind of asked us, when we first kind of announced that, oh, what, are you just leaving the Kadena ecosystem? And it's like, no, we're doing this for the benefit of the Kadena ecosystem, because the more eyes that you have on the project and on the blockchain itself is just going to drive more adoption, more people to it. More people are going to look into it and go, I wonder what this Kadena is all about. Maybe I should look into it a little more. Maybe I should look into their ecosystem and lead them to our Kadena Ecosystem website. Go look at all the different projects that are building on it. Follow the campfires, which, like you said, are absolutely amazing events. If anyone here listening has never joined any of the campfires, they have them on the Kadena YouTube channel on every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys haven't seen those, make sure you guys join in. They take community questions from the chat. You can also join their Discord and put questions in there as well. They're really cool and interactive things, and they have really awesome guests on, including like the founders of Kadena they've had on a bunch of times. They just today they had the Swarms team on. They had the DNA team on. We've had also Eucalyptus Labs on. There's lots of really cool things that they've had on there. And like I said, they have them every week, and it just shows that, and they're getting bigger as they go. You're getting more people coming in, more people seeing the really cool people and projects that are building on this blockchain, and just bringing in more of those communities into the fold is how we're gonna reach a wider audience and reach more adoption with Kadena. We can't just stay inside of our comfortable, safe little bubble. We have to eventually branch out and show these other communities and show these other blockchains why we're here to stay, why we're an awesome place to build. So, have you guys ever thought with Wizards of possibly branching out Wizards into other ecosystems outside of Kadena, just to maybe, bring in more people to both Kadena and Wizards itself?
Well, Chris, you're exactly right. As the Kadena project, you get to a point where there's not any more people in Kadena to attract. You've already done spaces with all of the projects. You've already spoke with Kadena Ecosystem 3 or 4 times. And there's not much else to go. So what do? You either wait for Kadena to grow by itself, or you do it yourself. And this is where a lot of projects are right now. You have multiple just kick-ass projects that are trying to do this, and it's not because they're trying to grow their project. They're also trying to grow Kadena and grow their project as a result. And so I will tell you, Chris, very, very, very confidentially, that right now we are researching Ethereum layer 2s for possibly a spinoff or something of that nature. Do not hold me to this. I shouldn't even say anything. Shut up. Don't hold me to it. It's being talked about. It's not a plan, but yeah.
Yeah, it's always good just to just do a little bit of research. Like that's one thing we've been doing, is a lot of research into other chains. When you start breaking into the EVM world, it is such a massive space and there's just so many projects that are built on top of EVM. It's just just your mind just boggles at all of the different projects. And eventually, hopefully, Kadena will be like that, where, you just have so many different projects building on top, especially once, if they're implementing this new layer 2 that they've been saying that they're working on, that's going to be kind of like an EVM, where people can build their own kind of things on top of Kadena like that. All it's going to do is just make everything blow up, make everything go 10 times faster. Especially since our one of the great things about Pact too is that, in one of our recent spaces that we've had, we talked about how Pact is more of a language that is a lot easier for people to read. Pact, when it is, it's human readable code, which, people kind of take it to think that, oh, anyone can read it, like any person that doesn't even know anything about development can read it, which isn't necessarily true. You still have to have some kind of development know-how to understand what the code does, even if it's basic, just like CSS kind of knowledge. Even that helps when it comes to reading lines of code and things like that. But it is a lot more readable than trying to go and read a smart contract on Ethereum, which is pretty much just a whole bunch of numbers and letters, and you're never going to really understand it unless you are, you've spent your time researching Solidity, researching the contracts, how they're written, things like that. So that is one of the great upgrades that comes along with Pact. And one of the things that I always remembered when I first started getting into Kadena and watching some of the videos of the early interviews with Stuart Habert and Will Martino and Stuart Popejoy, about how they talked about how their vision for Pact is that, they know that there's in the future, there's going to be multiple blockchains out there. But, their vision for Pact is that there's going to be just one smart contract language across all of these chains that then bring them all together. And that's kind of was their idea behind building Pact, as to be, that one smart contract language that everyone can use no matter what chain you're on. And it will just make it so much easier for people all across all the different cryptos to develop and build upon. And I think we're working slowly towards that. The team's been putting out a lot of work lately. Their dev team has increased tenfold in the past couple of months. Randy and his JS team are doing lots of really great things. They're out there. I believe they're in Paris right now at the ETH conference that's going on out there. I know Kobe, our fearless leader here at Eucalyptus Labs, he's there. So if anyone is listening and you're going to that conference, be on the lookout for Kobe. If you guys don't follow him here on Twitter, it's at Kobe Lazar, Lazar. You'll see his face there, and you'll be able to spot him out. He's very open to chat. So if you see him, make sure you go up to him and say hello and slap him on the back and tell him he's doing a good job.
Say bonjour.
say bonjour. I don't know how much French he speaks or understands, so you might not be able to get away with that. But we're coming into, like I said, I think we're coming into the second coming of Kadena. A lot of people see the first coming as when we, went way up in price and had the huge increase, and where we saw the original big push of all of these projects going from, just, one or two projects to like, one or two dexes and a couple of NFTs to now like multiple dexes, multiple launch pads, tons of NFT projects, tons of token projects and stuff like that. That was that we saw that big, huge push a couple of months ago. Things have now kind of slowly died back down, leveled off into nice, consistent projects. And now we're on the cusp of that next big boom that's going to just bring Kadena to that next level. And Wizards is going to be riding that wave all the way into there. And hopefully we're going to be able to see, not just Wizards, but lots of other really amazing projects take off and just, become that next thing that everyone wants to talk about. Thing that we're past the whole, Pepe meme coin bullcrap that people are just kind of throwing their money at right now. And people start looking into real things that are meant to, Kadena is going to be mining for 120 years. So it's not like it's going anywhere anytime soon. So people need to just kind of figure it out now, get involved, kind of like the way they got involved in Bitcoin when it first came out in its first couple of years, and then slowly started to pick up its pace, or like Ethereum with the same kind of value. So it's really cool to see where things are going. And hopefully, like I said, Wizards Arena will be one of those top projects in the Kadena ecosystem, as it already is.
So you've probably heard me talk about this previously. This is something that I've been saying for months now, is that it's exactly what you're saying. I feel a Kadena renaissance coming. I think we're in the middle of it right now. We got through the part, I hope, where there was blood on the streets, and it seemed like, we were weeding out all the bad ones. Multiple rugs happened, not a very good time. And then, we kind of get to this point where we can, the good projects that are left can work together. And so I actually really wanted to mention, Chris, I hope you're familiar. I think you did a space with them recently, Udderly Ridiculous. So my friend, Invisible Ron Wolf, aka Tori, great friend of mine. This is a wonderful project. I've been working with them personally. So, I've been kind of helping consult, and I'll probably be a part of the project in the future. But this is a really cool thing, and I really, really want to give them a shout out and want everybody to know what this is, because, all right, right now, I'll put it straight out. I have a Blocks NFT, okay? I minted an Epic, and I was very excited to get 15 terahashes per second. But guess what? They're not sending payouts now. And there's people who have spent thousands of dollars on this, and they're not getting paid because of these greedy scammers, okay? And I hate it. It doesn't get talked about enough. Rugs are literally crime. Like, it's horrible. Like, it is very scummy and bad. And, it's going to happen anywhere. But thank God, now we have people who are here to help protect us. And this is what Udderly Ridiculous is here for. They are allowing you to swap your rugs for legit projects, okay? So, you can get into a raffle. Say, hey, I have this block. I have this minted NFT. I have this variation ape. And you can put it into a raffle, and you have a chance of swapping this rugged NFT that you got wrecked on for an actually good NFT, like Wizards Arena, Arcade NFT, Secret Gardens of Kadena, CAD cars, you name it. Something active and actually working. So it's really cool, and they're going to be providing a lot of other services that if you're a holder in Utterly Ridiculous, you'll be very, very, very happy, because it's literally meant to protect all of these people who are great people, great community members, but they've just got screwed, and so it's just awesome.
Yeah, that is a really awesome project. If anyone listening hasn't heard anything about Udderly Ridiculous, you can go to our YouTube channel. Our AMA that we did with them is posted up there, and you can listen back to that and hear about all the awesome stuff. It was really great talking with her about the project that they're working on over there. And yeah, it's definitely something that is needed, because like you said, we have unfortunately had some bad actors in the space that have come out, made NFTs, and then just kind of disappeared with the money and left people with kind of these useless NFTs in their wallet with no utility and no one wanting to buy them on a secondary market because there's no use case for them or anything like that. So it's great to hear that people are, stepping up and making it so that, it's bringing new life to these dead projects and dead NFTs, to be able to just kind of recycle them into something better and something that is useful. It's not a guaranteed thing. Like if you have an NFT, you're going to be able to trade a dead NFT from a rug project, that you're going to be able to trade it in for another NFT of a new project. It is a lottery kind of based system, and pretty much your NFT from the Burn project is just going into like a ticket into a raffle, which you could then possibly win a real NFT from a project that's currently developing. So, but like I said, if you guys want to go and learn more about that project, definitely go to our YouTube, listen back to the AMA that we did. It was a really awesome talk. And hopefully once they get a little bit further in the development, we'll be able to have them back and catch up with them about everything that they've been working on. Because, last time we spoke, they had a lot of really great ideas and things that they wanted implemented. And hopefully some of those things will come to fruition very soon. And we'll be able to circle back around and talk with them even more. But like you said, it's getting to the point now where, there's very few new projects. Some of the projects that are still around have kind of gone into a hibernation mode. Because even with you guys at Wizards, the market is, it is still a deciding factor in development. Bills still have to be paid, server costs still need to be paid, all that kind of stuff. And, with the market down so much from where it was just a few months ago, that could really hinder a project's development and progress. But, it shouldn't necessarily hinder a project's drive. The drive is what's really important. The want to build is really what comes down to the final factor of, does a project survive or does it not? And I feel like that's one of the really good things that you guys have at Wizards, is that you have an amazing team that has the drive, that wants to see things get better, wants to see the community evolve, your project evolve, and just make everything better for the entire space and everyone involved. So that's really great to hear, though, that you're getting behind other projects as well, Ron, that you're not just focusing on your wizard hat in the one field, that you're branching out and helping other projects, which is really what this community has really been all about, and what has brought it to where it is now. And that is, community growth, people all coming together and working together to figure out their projects, be it from Amir, who has got his hands in multiple projects across the whole Kadena ecosystem, to lots of other developments. Like you said, even the CAD Cars team has an awesome group that is very open and helping other people as well as building all of their tools. I know Alex from Hypercent, he's very helpful. He's been helping a lot of different projects. Even like the arcade team, they're very helpful in helping people develop out their things. There's lots of different people in this ecosystem that have done a really amazing job of keeping everyone close together and helping each other out. And, as we progress and move towards and out of this, like you said, we're kind of entering into this new renaissance of the Kadena ecosystem, that these people are going to be very prevalent. And one of the main reasons why we're going over this hurdle and into this new light of Kadena, this newfound wealth, newfound joy, and just newfound community of people driving it forward. So I don't know if there's any kind of other topics that you feel like we may have missed or that you wanted to hit on, but that's pretty much all the conversation topics I had planned for today. I don't know if maybe Amir, he's listening, if maybe he wants to come in. We've been talking a lot about him this AMA, so I don't know if he wanted to come in and say a word or two. But I want to definitely, I always have a pleasure talking with you, Ron. You're one of my favorite people to talk to in the Kadena ecosystem. I always enjoy our conversations that we have here. And like I said, I just am looking so forward to all the things that you guys are doing at Wizards Arena. And hopefully things turn around in the market soon so you guys can get back on track and bring out some more amazing things for people to play with.
Yeah, and I just want to mention that, it's not bad at all, just in case it seemed that way at all. It's completely fine. It just, all it really comes down to is that Ilario is a full-time dev and the market determines his salary. And, on top of that, like we said, we're trying to do things where we have to expand it. And, the market just makes that hard. And we really don't want it to seem like we are using it as an excuse, but we're kind of just waiting for the right time to further things, because we don't want to launch something big like a pendant mint or something and it be, not as big as it could be. But, well, in the meantime, Chris, I have a question. Will you guys be at Cypherpunk in Fort Lauderdale in September?
Not 100% certain about that one. Kobe may be, because he is a US based person, so it's very easy for him to get up and down to the things. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm sure that if we are, though, we'll definitely announce it, because we always like to make sure that people know where we're going to be in case they want to come and talk to us in person and join us. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I wouldn't mind going myself, but you never know.
Well, so
up to the boss, man.
I could possibly be in attendance for Wizards Arena, so that's why I ask.
Well, if we do end up going, we'll definitely reach out, and if you're definitely going as well, we'll try to hook up and take some pictures together and spread the love.
For sure. Yeah, it'd always be awesome to meet you guys. See some faces, shake some hands, and kind of like you were saying earlier. It's always a good time talking to you, Chris. I enjoyed this, and I'm sure it'd be a good time meeting you. But Amir is DMing me right now saying that it's choppy when he goes to speak, so that we should just ignore him and that he's going. So I guess that's no Amir today.
That's okay. You guys can always, we recently tweeted out about Amir's Twitch channel. If you guys haven't gone, you can watch Amir do his magic dev work over on his Twitch channel. So you guys can click our profile here. It's a couple of tweets down, I believe. You can find the link to his Twitch channel and everything, and go and watch him develop and stuff. I know I was in there the other day when he was in there working on stuff, and gets a good little group of people watching him as well. So yeah, it's like 5 or 6 tweets down. So not too hard to find. But I want to thank Ron once again for coming by and catching up with us over here. It's always great to talk with the people from Wizards Arena. Like I said, you guys are doing amazing stuff over there. By far, one of the top games on the Kadena blockchain. And I don't see that changing anytime soon, especially with all the awesome things you guys have in the pipeline. So hopefully, we'll see a big rush in the crypto market. We'll see Kadena come along for the ride, come back up to some respectable levels, get things back on track, and get to see some really cool stuff in the near future. So thanks a lot for coming by and chatting with us today.
Yeah, Chris, we're rocking and rolling just as much as ever, and I appreciate you having us. I'm actually about to drop into this KMC space. I wanted to add a quick side note, just a little bit of a personal announcement. So for those of you that know, I'm studying economics and a master's degree right now. I'm graduating in 3 weeks, so it's all coming to an end. Things are getting kind of real for me, and I'm thinking a lot about what the future holds. So, if anybody has any ideas of, how I could apply myself more in Web3 as an economist, or if anybody has any, opportunities for me, let me know. I'd appreciate it. A little bit of a personal plug for myself there.
Well, with the drive that you have for Wizards and for blockchain, I'm sure if you just apply that to your everyday life, that you'll have no problems finding finding work and finding a field that you really enjoy working in, and finding a team that can really utilize your expertise and your experience. And, just running these AMAs, taking part in Wizards like you are, really is just going to put even more tools in your arsenal to be able to go out there into the real world with. So, hopefully you have a great graduation if I don't speak to you before then, and all the best of luck, and hopefully you find something really cool to put those skills to use for.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I always appreciate the kind words, and we always have a good talk. But yeah, man, we'll see what the future holds. And obviously I'm a little bit anxious and nervous as I kind of get to the next stage of my life. But I'm sure that we'll just keep on going, and it won't be any different from any time in the past. So we'll be all good. I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up. So thanks for having me, Chris. Thanks everybody that joined. If you have any questions, I'm always on here. I'm always on Discord, whatever. Always reach out to me about anything. But yeah, thanks everybody for everything. I had a good time doing all of this.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming and listening today. Make sure you guys follow Wizards on Twitter here, join their Discord, get involved, go check out their website, get involved in the tournaments, grab yourself a wizard, and start playing and having a bunch of fun with their amazing community. So I want to thank everyone for coming and joining us. Hopefully next time we can get Amir up here to speak a little bit better. But make sure you guys go check out KadenaEcosystem.com. Check out our calendar for all of our upcoming AMAs so you don't miss out on any of these awesome conversations. And thank you very much for coming out today. Have a great day and take care.
Take care, everybody.
That wraps up another amazing AMA. Thank you for listening. Here at Kadena Ecosystem, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on the projects before investing. Also ensure to follow us on our social media, from Twitter to subscribing to our weekly newsletter to keep up to date on everything KDA related. You can find all the links in the description below. Take care.